of a fraud scam, like that she's like being dishonest to try to get money out of or something. Like, I don't know if she's necessarily directly trying to get money. But both of these ladies are gaining financially from this, by the way, through their YouTube channels. That's why they're doing this. She may have actually gotten hurt, but like, she is trying to make this out to where her life is like derailed completely because of a thing that Jimmy actively knew about and like is hiding under the rug, which I don't think is that to that degree. She may have gotten hurt at Beast Games, but like, she's like failing to forget that she signed a liability waiver, that Jimmy is not responsible for a grown-ass adult assaulting another adult. And if it's not caught on camera, I don't know what you expect. Like, if you don't have evidence to back it up, then what do you expect? Unfortunately, what do you expect?
See this risk of like crossways traffic and all that. Right. I simply didn't see it.
By the way, yeah, you're dumb for not seeing it then, because like, we could establish. I'm sorry. Let's do this again here real quick. Shall we? No memento. This is the game, by the way, that she was talking about. You're telling me a PhD, someone with a PhD, didn't see that cross traffic was going to be an issue. Fine, I'll wait. I'll wait for everybody to go get their coat packs. Because we're just... She's huffing it all up. She's huffing the cope source.
And so it wasn't part of my calculus and my strategy. So I thought I could just like run freely and get that case and I'd be okay. That it was really a matter of being fast enough to get to one of these cases and being, like mentally sharp enough to be able to map enough cases that I was probably going to be fine.
You're dumb. That is the dumbest thing. You're like trying to gamify. You're trying to like figure out the strategy for this to win this money. It's like, lady, it's just like you were so worried about figuring out a strategy that you could have easily just ran and fell and hit your head on the ground. Or caught somebody's like shoe wrong and hit your head.
And that is how I viewed it. That was the view that I had.
Like,
of course, compare that to Mr. Beast.
Like, you blacked out. How do you know? How do you know for sure? You say that you know, but then you like also claim that you had no idea that you were going to get blindsided. And it's like, no, you're
on a pedestal above all of us. He saw the mayhem of the two games before mine, right, and of my game, and of the next game. He had a great view. All the cameras, they had lots of overhead cameras, and they had people viewing those camera rooms, and they would have been able to see the risk. But I could not see the risk from the floor of Allegiant Stadium. And so, yes, I was free to be there. Yes, I signed a liability waiver. All of that, I absolutely could have gone at any time. But was this then an exercise in free choice? And
yes. Yes, this is not actually Beast Games. Jimmy is not going to shoot you if you try to leave or you get disqualified. You are not going to literally die for Beast Games. You don't have to.
That is the question. And so, again, welcome to the TED Talk. Yeah, so the essence of the TED Talk, this is a decade ago, and it's on an entirely different topic, and it has to do with the choice of raw milk, that just being able to reach for this milk versus this milk. But we need to know cognitively something about the difference between those choices. And so the information we have about those choices really affects whether our choice of raw milk or pasteurized milk is free. It's only free if we have enough information about the difference between the choices.
Dude, just put the milk in the bag, sis. Just put the milk in the bag. I don't care if it's pasteurized or not. Just put the fucking milk in the bag. No one cares. Just put it in the bag.
Therein lies free choice. And so take that to Beast Games.
Here is that's free choice is actually like we put a lot of cognitive dissonance into like making our free choice. And so is it actually free because we're costing a lot of mental resources? No one cares. No one cares. Just put the fries in the bag, please.
And my
Mayhem is part of the game. That is the fucking game. You are a fucking gladiator. Yes, you are competing with like thousands of people, like 2,000 people for $5 million. You're retarded if you think that you're not gonna, like, people are not gonna like be like, there's not gonna be chaos, that there's not gonna like, people aren't gonna like, there's not gonna be cross traffic. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like that's
physical ability to walk through that.
So aggravating.
And the fact that I didn't is it a sign that my concussion and my injury,
this woman has a PhD, by the way. PhD
comes from my exercising free choice. Well,
but can't put the milk in a fucking bag.
The information about the risk, and in fact, it was kept from me because I was not allowed to do conversation because I was told there would be no kicking and no pushing.
There's supposed to be no contact. You know.
Oh, no cookie, no pushing. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, she concussed herself so fucking hard she lost every goddamn smart thing she ever learned in her life.
Supposed to be hitting, kicking, tackling contestants, and the fact that that did happen to you, someone else is breaking the rules and they're not enforcing it, and you got injured.
Right, that was the rule.
Right.
So color me surprised that I would be tackled in a game that.
Dude, you probably just fell and then got kicked on accident because people were running around and not looking at the fucking ground because they're looking at cases.
Not allowed tackling.
Right. Right.
So was it an exercise and free choice? No.
So you somehow make it home driving with a concussion, and just thank goodness you didn't get in an accident. You got home. Could you kind of walk us through what the next days and weeks were for you?
So yes, to just reiterate, I didn't know at that time as I was driving back that I had a concussion. And that was a Sunday. The injury was early Saturday morning. The drive back was Sunday. It was Monday that I realized I had a goose egg on my head, right on the back of my head. I had an abrasion. And the symptoms, besides the sleepiness that had come on that drive, by Monday, the headaches and the nausea began. And that is when I realized I must have a concussion. And so I went to urgent care and I was diagnosed with that and with a left bruised rib. They did an x-ray to see if there was any sign of evidence that it was broken.
Oh my gosh, you had a bruised rib?
Well, and I was kicked in the calves. So I had bruising on my calves as well.
I stand by what I said. I think I think that she fell. I really just think that she fell on accident. And then like someone like accidentally stepped on her or some shit.
And so that was
or like half stepped on, like accidentally kicked her when they were running.
That was Monday. And then Thursday I went into my primary care doctor and then began meeting with her once a week, I believe, for the first month. And she would do this concussion battery score on me every week. And it's what she does for her high school football players, or, high schoolers who are injured. And so we're doing this little concussion battery every week. And she was just giving me some of the general medical advice. In that first week, I was sure that this is like a 1 week recovery. Maybe it's 2. So by the end of the second week, I'm thinking this is really surely almost over. And I didn't even imagine or even want to process that it could be much bigger and longer term. So it was at the 6 week point that I had that concussion score again, and it wasn't showing signs of decline as it should have.
Right. And for anyone who's watching or listening who isn't familiar with a concussion score, this is a score that a doctor does after you've had a concussion to see where you're at, right? Is that how it? Yeah.
So this one was it's like a list of symptoms, and you rate the scale of severity of something like sensitivity to light,
right,
or loud noises. So there's a whole list of things that are common concussion symptoms, and you just rate them, and you're tracking your
2 days of a concussion. No, they wouldn't be able to tell you that. Too bad. Thank you. Trust me. It becomes very clear when you watch her on her own, not being like PR'd, not being like you will see, we will watch her unmask. Like, that's the best fucking way to put it, is you will see her unmask about how like the stories don't line up. They just don't make sense. This thing, that thing, like you'll see. You'll see.
Time.
We're almost there. We're almost to the good shit.
But apparently not nearly what they would expect at the 6 week point.
We're almost to the
MRI. So
schizo
I
posting.
not received an MRI, which by the way that's the key tool that they use to assess whether you've had a brain bleed. And the fact that I did not receive an MRI in Las Vegas, as I look back, I'm horrified, because that is when they identify a brain bleed, their concern, and the reason they try to identify it, is you can die in your sleep. And so,
also, I'm sorry, but if you were kicked in the head, wouldn't you, and like you thought you blacked out momentarily, wouldn't you go get medical, like looked at medically? My doctor told me some things. Yeah, they told you what you were looking for. So yeah. You were like, well, okay, so what should I keep a lookout for? Literally.
So there I was for 6 weeks, not even knowing if I had a bleed. And then it took 6 more weeks of insurance bureaucracy before I actually finally got the MRI. And so I got the MRI at 12 weeks.
So during this time, what was Mr. Beast production company's communication with you? Were they doing anything to help the process along? Where were they in this?
Oh, certainly not at that stage. And so I was in contact with them in that first week. And so the urgent care visit was on a Monday, and I sent a photo of like the diagnosis to a Mr. Beast producer. Right. And so I'm sure it went into my profile that I have a concussion.
Dude, and I hope Nikki has really good timing, because I'm going to need a fucking smoke after this. Holy, this.
And I spoke to
listening to this interview has given me a brain bleed. Like, I can feel myself getting dumber.
Producers that week when they called all the contestants.
Like, I can slosh my head around. I'd move my head around. I can hear the blood sloshing from the concussion she's causing me.
One of the producers did have. She sent me a text, and I said, I'm fine, because at that point, again, I'm thinking, I got
like I have to have a concussion to be able to believe this. Like, I have to be majorly concussed. Traumatically concussed to believe an ounce of this.
Other week, you know what I mean? I'm not imagining what is in front of me, and again, I'm trying to be positive, and I still was so much a super fan of the organization, and just leaning into like, okay, I'm going to recover. It's all going to be okay. And again, never imagining I would be sitting here discussing this with you and looking at a year.
Oh, now she's playing like the like coerced victim. Well, I still was a fan. They were mean to me, but I still didn't want anything bad to happen to them, because I'm a virtuous person. Just because they did me wrong doesn't mean I want them to be done wrong.
Injury.
No.
And so from there,
you wouldn't. If you thought that, you wouldn't be on here talking to 150,000 people. By the way, this Rosanna has 14 million subscribers on YouTube. This has been up for almost a week, and it hasn't even broken 100. It barely broke 150.
From the Mr. Beast organization, like,
just
hey,
say
your tax form,
just
saying.
like
and they said they were going to be switching the communication system over and using a text-based system, but I never heard about that.
And this is months after like trying to milk taking down Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast being a bad person and Rosanna being the virtuous one.
And so I believe it was around September 1st that I emailed them and said, hey, did you guys ever set that thing up? Maybe I missed it because, I do have a concussion and might not be catching all your communications.
Yeah.
And I never heard back from them on that email. And then I sent them another email in mid-September kind of with the same flavor, and didn't hear back on that either.
Ghosted.
Yes.
Recovery process was really long. This is over 6 weeks. So what were the symptoms?
But also,
in the first 6 weeks.
Okay, I can stand to be corrected. But last time I checked, it's not their responsibility to check up on you afterwards, because you signed a liability waiver. Am I wrong in that? They literally do not have an obligation to sit and provide you health care after you go home and have done your thing and gone home, and weeks after. It's not their responsibility to take care of it. I could be wrong in that, but I'm pretty sure that you don't just like
weeks, definitely the persistent headache, nausea, and fatigue. Yeah. Fatigue has been the biggest thing for me in all of these weeks. I will say I felt like I was 80 years old, and I could not.
I'm sorry. I know I'm sighing a lot at this fucking shit, but I don't know what else to say, because this is just insane.
Recover from activity.
Retarded shit.
It was maybe about the 12 or 14 week point where I went out and walked 2 miles, just like in the neighborhood, 2 miles.
If you say to your work, no, I'm okay, I don't want to file a report, they can just ignore it later. Yes. Well, okay, and so apparently she said something to Carl, but outside of that, I don't know if that's filing a report. Like mine, if it's bad enough for a report and you need medical attention, yes, thank you. If you got hurt on the job, like actually hurt on the job, and you need to seek medical attention, your job should be willing to have no problem with you going to get medical attention or taking you to it. A manager, if you don't need an ambulance, will drive you in, and they will wait. Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you. That is actually pieces of information I need. So yes, I am correct that they, after the fact, if you tell them you're good and that you're not needing medical attention, then it is not their responsibility after you leave to give you medical attention or check up on you. They don't have to. You signed a liability.
That's it. Now in July, I was able to hike 10 to 15 miles, 2,000 feet elevation gain with no recovery problem at all. I mean, at all. It was fine.
Badass.
Absolutely.
Love it. Yeah.
Yes, I was, and I will be again. But
Like this falls on her fucking up and saying that she didn't need medical attention because she wanted to stay in the show. She was hoping that maybe that this wouldn't get her disqualified because she got hurt, and that they would think that she's a good enough storyteller that they'd figure out a reason to keep her. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I was exhausted for 2
If you need to go in and you had to go by ER, regardless of the insurance that you have, they would pick up the bill for the ambulance. That's nice of them. So yeah, and like and those are respectfully, those are not equal to like the working on a site for like a show. I would imagine that they would provide a little bit different, but equal, if not better, medical attention and provide that shit. I cut my finger at work at my cooking job, got a ride in, they got the bill, and it cost $5,000 for gluing my fucking thumb together. But they covered the bill because it was at work. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for reinforcing that.
Yeah, that's not normal for you. That's not.
I fucking called it. I was like, watch. I wonder if Nikki's gonna have the really good timing that like she's gonna be on her way home when here by the time we're done with this, because I'm gonna need a fucking smoke. I'm so glad you're on your way home. You have not missed the unmasking.
it was
so don't worry.
So
you haven't missed the tea, the juice.
I simply have not been able to do what I could do. And the fatigue has been the biggest issue. So that was that walk was the 12 to 14 week point, and now we're at about 5 months at this point. And I'm so excited and proud of myself because I walked 3 miles the other day, flatland, no elevation, but flatland, and didn't have a recovery problem. And so then the next time I'll walk 3.5, and I'll try it. And I'm getting back. I'm coming back.
Yeah,
I'm coming back.
You're a fighter.
I am coming back, but it's been difficult. And so the headaches have continued. They're getting better. And the nausea is getting better.
I know. That's why I was telling you, I haven't missed a whole lot. Like, yeah, we're listening to this lady like really like spin up a scam lie and everything, but like you have not missed the unmasking. We're gonna see just her in her natural organic environment here soon. Do not worry.
I have really strange earaches. That just it's the outer part of my ear. It's not like inside, and I get actual ear pain. Like my lobes hurt to the touch, and it's just very strange. And I get those, when I'm stressed or not sleeping as well and stuff like that. And it's definitely from the concussion. I've never had anything like that before.
Yeah,
those are getting a little bit better. So it will all get better. But the doctor is definitely having me focus on a 1-year trajectory. And I made that realization in September, and so that would have been about 8 weeks, realizing how difficult this was going to be. And again, our Eat Like a Bear vision for ourselves and weight loss is what will our lives look like in 1 year. And so I went to our community in September and said, I think I have a 1-year recovery. And so, and many of them are joining me in this goal, but sorry.
Dude, oh, that's so manipulative. Hey guys, I just got news on my traumatic brain injury from the Beast games that I got, but I don't have anything to back up my claim. It's gonna be a year before I can like really post any content. But I'm gonna post this 2-hour video. I'm gonna go on this like hour plus interview. But don't worry, but I'm sorry guys. It's gonna be like a year before I can post content and actually like, get back to what I was doing and like be able to take care of myself financially. So like, if you guys want to join me on this journey, you can help support me, emotionally or, financially or spiritually. Like it's going to be a long process, guys. And it's going to be really tough on me financially as well. But I'm not worrying about the financial part. Because I can't like work and make income and like pay for things. So like, it's okay though. As long as I guys got your guys' support, I'll be okay. They can take my house away because I'm not making any more money. Because I can't make long form content. Because of this brain injury I got on the Beast games. But that's okay. I got you guys and your support. You guys will get me through it.
Pardon my emotions.
No, it's fine.
I know. That's why I did the whole fucking sarcastic pity show just a second ago.
So I announced to them September 21st of 2025.
Like, that's just,
but I'll be out somewhere on a trail. One that even 7 years ago I wasn't able to access, that I can't access now either. Yeah. But that's where I'll be. And so part of coming here and talking to you today is...
Dude, that's also insane editing that they cut from her crying to calm.
Even
So that's what...
I wasn't able to access, that I can't access now either. Yeah. But that's where I'll be. And so part of coming here and talking to you today is processing this, is getting past this point.
Yeah.
I need...
Oh, sorry. My bad. They cut to her crying, going back into crying again. I'm sorry.
The story
We're getting more crocodile tear show.
And I need to be out and hike and not worry that someone else is going to be injured.
Yeah.
And if they are, God bless them, let people make their choices, what they're going to be involved in. Let them have their free choice to do this thing. And I fully support that. But let there be no more situations like this. And I need to be free of that. And so as you see me in social media, that is what I'm going to be doing.
You had a brain. I'm glad I sold it well.
All this year, as you'll see me hiking, I'll be live streaming.
I love Cam. That's so funny. Bless his heart for caring. That just means I did it well. I sold it well.
Because the interesting thing is, in terms of working with the doctors,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Thank you for making my night, Cam.
I've been filming live videos. I'm just really good at juggling all the stuff you have to do.
Oh, that's so funny.
It's hard. There's a lot of moving factors.
Fielding the questions or getting trolled. By the way, I love, bring them on.
Oh,
by the way, bring the trolls. Silly. And so, it's always been great, but has been very difficult for me to juggle the cognitive balls. And so talking with the therapists about it, what they say is, you need to do more, not less. And so that is going to be one of my big things.
Do they think that that's going to help with recovery?
You know what's also crazy too with her doing this? This is a lady that has 57,000 subscribers, right? Has built this following on losing all this weight, has this really a cool story. But she's lacking the awareness, a massive awareness and connection to the fact that she's spinning this sob story, or she's selling this sob story, this sad story of how she won't be able to do some of the things that she wanted to do. Homegirl, I know someone in my community that can't drive at night. They can't drive at night because of a brain injury. I know people that I knew somebody that literally could not hold a job because they had a brain injury. I know people that literally have to have people they live at home with their parents because they're single and they don't have a roommate. And they need somebody to be there while they're sleeping and to be around in general in case they have a seizure or some shit because of a fucking brain injury. But, God forbid she can't hike and she can't make long form videos on content for YouTube. Go fuck yourself. Boo fucking who?
Challenging yourself, mentally and physically, within reason, but
that's the nicest way I'll put it tonight.
Recovery and
absolutely,
stimulation and getting things going and
coming here today and doing such a long interview that I
did great.
Well, and because I had no idea, but I thought, so what? Let's just do it. Let's just see.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of cognitive lapses. So that not only is there the headaches, the nausea, and that sort of thing, which are
the editing on this is wild too. There are such bad cuts. I'm sorry, you have 14 million subscribers. How are you not able to either edit this yourself? This interview. It's not that long of hard of an editing job. I don't know how to edit, and I could edit it better. It's
go down. That is a sign.
There's
that
so much wrong with this.
Recovery. I'm making a full recovery.
Oh, bless your heart. You're so strong.
It takes longer than all these.
So strong.
So we're already it's already longer than we hope.
So strong of you to get over your concussion. Oh God. We all need to, guys, time out. We all need to live like her. We need to live this strong, virtuous lifestyle that this woman's living, where she's not going to let a brain injury and a concussion stop her from like getting back to what she was used to doing.
But
go fuck
one
yourself.
Of the odd things or things that affect the live videos as well is I'll have cognitive lapses about 2 days ago. My son had a cheeseburger in his hand.
Correct. She can't make the videos about her weight loss. You know, I don't know, the whole, let's look here. The 13 parts of the year that she got skinny that have less than 1,000 views on every single one of them. Or the best meal for weight loss 20-minute video that she posted almost a year ago that didn't break 6,000 views. The holiday leftover weight loss through the holidays that didn't even break 600 views. I'm sorry. Let's do something real quick. I don't usually like to do this. Literally, this is why. Six years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, two is the most recent. To be honest, probably after this fucking concussion that she had. And you know what, Nora, I will almost never say this ever again, but that's probably the best thing that could fucking happen to her, because honestly, that will revitalize her fucking career, is getting fat again, so she can lose the weight and then get people to draw attention to it again. Like, sorry, but like I'm just gonna say it.
And brought it home. It was like school lunch, and I looked at it and I said, "Oh, what a good-looking sandwich! What is that?" And he said,
"Because that was the best thing that."
And I stared at it.
Her getting fat and then losing over 100 pounds and then becoming main character was literally the only good thing that happened to her right now.
I couldn't imagine what he was
so far in the last like 6 years.
I know. I'm so horrified by that, but it's just to give it. Imagine what he was saying. Like, what's a cheeseburger? School lunch, and I looked at lapses. The odd things or things that affect the live videos as well is I'll have cognitive lapses about 2 days ago. My son had a cheeseburger in his hand. He'd gotten it at school and brought it home. It was like school lunch, and I looked at it and I said, "Oh, what a good-looking sandwich! What is that?" And he said, "It's a cheeseburger." And I stared at it, and I couldn't imagine what he was saying. Like, what's a cheeseburger? I know. I'm so horrified by that, but it's just to give an example.
It's like on the tip of the tongue, the tip of the brain.
And so
I'm sorry, was she just making fun of that? Like, I understand finding a little bit of humor in some weird moments, don't get me wrong, but like, that almost seemed mockery. Maybe I'm like loading it a little bit. I'll admit, I might be like loading this up a little bit on that.
And it's very shocking because it was just 5 months ago. I was at my peak. I mean, I was out completely living my best. As I was preparing for Beast Games, I was jogging, which, by the way, I decided I don't really like. But,
well, yeah, like sitting there being like, "What's a cheeseburger?" I just stared at it and then laughs like that. Like, it's like, okay, no one thought that was funny. That was weird. It felt a little rude. Because it's like again, I'll go back to the whole disconnect of like the fact that there are people that literally have this problem. That suffer an actual like traumatic brain injury that leaves them to where they can't even live alone in their life because that injury has left them to where they could potentially have seizures in their fucking sleep. They have to work night jobs because they have to be able to sleep during the day because they have to have somebody there to watch them. Or I don't know, people that can't even fucking drive after a brain injury because of, again, seizures, things, outcomes that come from the prolonged results of suffering a traumatic brain injury.
But Matt Pat said you need to work on your cardio, and so I did.
Yeah,
I worked on my cardio. Matt Pat, I worked on my cardio.
Oh, good. I'm so glad Matt Pack told you to do that so that you did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. This is what I'm saying is like she is completely disconnecting the fact that there are people that like you just gave born with a traumatic brain injury that like they have literally no control about it, and they don't get any they don't get any like any of this like extra attention that she is trying to get by milking this traumatic brain injury.
Like feeling better than ever. You were like,
Yeah.
this is,
Because I was coming from Matt Pat.
I felt so healthy. You're like,
I was swimming. For the first time, I was lake swimming, and which I don't know what, it seems obvious now. Like, why hadn't I gone lake swimming before? And it was so amazing. And so I was ready. Like, let me get back from Beast Games, and I'm going to be swimming all the time. Now, 'cause we're not too far from a lake. It's a really wonderful experience. And so I was discovering some things, and was really.
Oh, she doesn't get to lake swim now, guys.
And then I was kicked in the head.
then you got
Oh God, guys, she got robbed of the joy of lake swimming. Oh God, guys, I'm so sorry. I was an asshole. What was I thinking when I said that? She can't lake swim anymore. She got robbed of that from her brain injury. Oh no.
injured on Beast Games.
And I was literally for 2 weeks, I was